I know.
Not in the
I know.
bad way. You have a lot of good thoughts to provoke. It's more of my mouth and my English that's the problem.
Your English is the problem? You say that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is severe.
It's pretty
severe.
bad sometimes.
I feel bad because you feel bad.
No, don't feel bad like that. It's just trying to phrase things in a way that is clear and direct,
Mm-hmm.
and not try to talk in a lot of slang, because this isn't like the environment, but also being like friendly. It's podcast talking. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. It's just because of the circumstance. And I actually love to challenge people.
See, this is good.
Like going around their neurons, their 1,000 billion neurons they have, and find the right way.
Sometimes I think I might have 3 left. 3 neurons left.
No worries. There's just 10 minutes more of podcast, and then you're all set.
Good. Thank you. I've had a really good time.
You like coffee?
Yes, coffee is good.
Coffee is bad for your health. I will tell you why.
Caffeine is bad.
I will tell you exactly. Caffeine is in the coffee. It's naturally in the coffee. Caffeine. So I just read a book of. I will record this.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that in America, if you consume a bunch of caffeine and drive stupid, and they pull you over, and they're like, "Are you drunk?" and you say, "No, I've had a bunch of caffeine," they can use that against you because it's an mind-altering substance.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Wow.
So if I have like 100 Red Bulls or something and go drive and I'm driving all crazy, they say that I consumed a mind-altering substance with knowledge and purpose to operate a vehicle. And they can classify it like a DUI, driving under the influence. When typically we say DUIs, we mean like driving drunk, but they can classify it as a DUI because I'm driving under the influence of a mind-altering substance.
Wow. This was something super simple.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking coffee, a daily basis activity.
I don't think I've ever heard a single story of that happening, but technically, like legally, that's what they tell us.
At least if I want to settle down in this city or in this state, then I know that I don't have to drink a lot of coffee in the mornings to wake up and go drive.
Right. Just be afraid of our law system. It'll keep you up. Keep you up all night.
I gotta read a lot of politics.
Yeah.
I gotta read a lot of politics. So, how would be a utopian male human being for an American woman? You understand, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that was good. The first quality that I would expect in the perfect person is resilience.
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 Not discipline, not tolerance, no agreeableness, but the resilience.
Resilience.
Why?
Because no one is okay. We all have our breaking points.
Mm-hmm.
We all have one thing that will send us flying into a panic, scaring us. One thing that will just make us horribly, violently angry. One thing that'll just burst us into tears. And a perfect person will be someone who can go through that, have that moment, have that trigger, that episode, that PTSD, whatever you want, their childhood thing, and turn around, pat themselves on the back and be like, yeah, that sucked, but that was okay. Because without resilience, you will not have growth.
And we understand by resilience the attitude towards the negative circumstances we face. And
you have bravery, you have the courage to go and be brave and save your face. You have honesty. You have to admit, yeah, I got knocked down, but I'm getting up. You have
Hmm.
to have kindness. You need to heal yourself and be sympathetic with yourself when you get knocked down. You got to get back up. You got to be tough. You got to know that you'll make it out okay. That the sun will rise tomorrow. It'll come out of the sea and it'll fall in my neighbor's yard. It'll all be okay. And it's a factor that everyone has, but no one uses. No one recognizes their internal resilience. No one can say, like, yeah, I just fell down the stairs, but like, fuck, that hurt. But I gotta get up and go to work now. No one says that. Like, they're all bitching and moaning, and you gotta be tough. You gotta be, and it's a part of maturity to turn around and look at your resilience. And it's such a deciding factor to have the kind of hope for your resilience. You either make it out okay or you don't. Those are your options. How resilient you are, how bouncy ball you are, you're the one who's going to make that decision. So, my perfect man would be, I guess, someone who, like, for an example, this is an example.
Hmm.
My perfect person would not go through this. If they had a really horrible relationship that ended badly, they got brokenhearted, it was manipulative, dangerous, unkind, ugly.
Hmm.
They take some time to heal from it. They recognize what happened. They recognize who they were and who that person that they were with was. And they see what went wrong, what they want in life. And they are resilient to be able to continue falling in love and meeting people and dating and take that experience as a lesson and heal from it, healing because of it.
Wow, that could be kind of unreachable, but it's not impossible.
Not impossible.
Not
Very
impossible.
easily. Very easily not impossible. You
But
can
you
be
need to,
resilient in everything.
and you need to be just. It's a piece of. It's
So much.
a chunk of wise wisdom. A chunk of wisdom. Yeah. For be successful, to be successful, you need to be resilient. Like
Yes.
going overcoming adversities
It's
once
all
and
about that
then.
failure thing. If you won't grow in resilience if you never fail. And you learn so much from simply just turning around and looking at yourself, where you've been, where you're going, what you did when you were there.
Mhm.
Like, if you're not resilient, you're not learning, and you're not mature if you're not learning and you're not growing. And I tell the girls at work all the time, we date men, we don't date boys. Men are
Mm.
resilient, boys are not. Boys have boo boos. Men are resilient. And I don't mean it like there's such a stigma about men being tough in America.
Mhm.
Like the phrase man up, don't be a sissy, don't be a little girl. Like, first of all, that's sexist.
Yeah.
Second of all,
Mhm.
true, tough, rough, cool manness,
Mhm.
the real concept to me of masculinity is strength in fragility. You know,
Yeah.
in the nature realm, the masculine factor of a couple is to protect the family, you know, is to provide for the family. And so many men, I think in America, are all like, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not paying her bills. I'm not taking her out. I'm not doing all that. So I guess what I could say is that what American women want in the sense of resilience is if you're not going to try and get rejected,
Mhm.
don't fucking bother us.
Mm. I get it. Like, yeah, you mean in a strength in fragility, and it is a synonym of resilience. So it means that no fears, yeah, there's always gonna be fears. So
Exactly.
bravery doesn't mean you lack of fears. Bravery means, at least from my point of view, that with your fears, you carry them on your pocket and you go to
Yes.
talk to her and you face the problems
Yes.
and you and blah blah blah
Yes.
blah blah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So resilience will be a first characteristic of a perfect, but I would rather say utopian man, just to nobody understand. Just okay,
Yes. Utopian men. Sorry.
utopian man.
I guess in this modern American society, statistically speaking, as a young woman, it is so dangerous in some places in our country to be single because men in the communities look for identifiers in women. Identifiers in women, identifiers in women, identifiers in women,
Oh,
and they
right.
target single women. So when they target these women and women reject them, they this is a wild occurrence, but it happens statistically. This is happening all the
Mhm,
time. Men
mhm,
turn around and kill us. They kill us for saying we don't want to have sex with them. They kill us for ignoring them when they catcall us on the street. They kill us for wanting to break up, for divorces, for wanting children, for not wanting children. And that's a factor of domestic violence. That is
mhm,
not resilience.
mhm.
That is fragility without strength. Because even if it's rejection, like, for example, you go up to Sabrina, you talk to her, you're like, hey, would you like to go out on a date? She says, no,
Mhm.
thank you. I'm leaving for college soon. You say, okay, that's so mature. You didn't holler at her down the hallway, like, hey, pussycat, come here. Like, start meowing
Pussycat.
at her, barking at her. And then when she flips you off and walks away, you didn't go over and stab her. That's not resilience. That is fragility,
Yeah, and immaturity, I would say.
immaturity,
Hmm.
ugliness.
Okay, so I understood one of the characteristics you want in a perfect man, which is being resilient. What would be another, or would you rather prefer go for the physical
Mm,
attractive characteristics?
Another personality factor is respectfulness.
Oh, this is super complicated to understand,
It
and at the same
That's so
time
broad.
easy because here at least in my room, I put on the WhatsApp group that I created. Hey,
Mhm.
be respectful. That's all I want.
Mhm.
And then I would say different things like implicitly talking,
Mhm.
and respectful for me means like respect the zone of each other, respect the zone
Yeah.
of each other, and it doesn't mean that you cannot have sex, but warn us before you have it.
Yes. Before you
And
use
then
the entire space for yourself.
exactly. As now, for example, I asked them, the three of them, I asked them to use this room as a podcast set up studio.
Mhm.
And they said, okay, in a
Mhm.
mad humor, like, okay, okay, just use it.
Yes, do your thing.
Do
Do your
you
thing.
think?
Yes.
And if Steve was on my team,
Mhm.
he said, yeah,
He's like, "Yeah, do
so
it.
cool
Cool."
idea, it's a cool idea. And Brazilian people, Henrique, Joao, didn't behave the same way. They didn't behave the same way. The answer was silence.
I would have been like a podcast. You guys know what a podcast is, right? That's what I would have said to
I cannot expect
him.
everybody accept how I am.
Like, and then they don't even have to accept it, but you're requesting a safe, clean use of the space that doesn't have anything to do with them when they're not even here. Like, it's different than like someone coming in and fucking on your bed or like messing up your sheets, like messing up your space. Like, sex is such like an energetic thing. Like when people have sex in your space, it like ruins it. Like you feel disrespected.
Yeah,
Podcast isn't, we're not hurting you.
yeah.
We're just talking with
In no
cameras
way,
and
in no
microphones.
way. It's
Like
microphone, some
literally.
cables, some audio interface. But for you, what does the respect mean?
For me, respect means understanding that we all have priorities
Mhm.
in our life, and the alignment of our priorities or lack thereof
Mhm.
needs to be recognized. So, for example, my husband is Catholic and
Mhm.
I'm not, but I will go to church with him and I respect that. I follow along, I read with him, I do what I'm supposed to be quiet and kind and out of the way,
Mm.
and that's respectful. I think that if a man is able to respect what a woman wants to prioritize in her life, then it's really going to open a lot of doors for him. Like, for example, if a woman doesn't want kids, he needs to respect that. There are other options to, I mean, like having kids, like being pregnant and birthing children.
Uh-huh.
Well, if he says, I want to have my own kids or no kids, that's not respectful. Compromise. It's a good phrase for here. Because, there's always fostering, there's always adoption. Get a dog, get a cat, get a fish, There's always something that can be compromised on. And it's not just like material item things, it's also time. Like, another example, my husband's in the military. He's been
Mhm.
locked away on a destroyer ship for past 100 or so months.
He's in the air.
I'm
Is
sorry?
he in the air? In the air?
Air? No, he's on the water,
In the water?
on a boat.
Marine?
No, you're thinking Marines.
Marines.
No, he's in the Navy.
Navy.
He sends off airplanes
Mm-hmm.
and catches them, and he's studying to be a pilot to fly them.
Oh.
So his time of day to talk to me is very limited. He has a very difficult life. He can only have his phone for maybe an hour, and that's an hour out of time he could be eating. That's an hour out of time he could be sleeping. He works 12-hour days every day, and he's had, I want to say, 3 days off. 2 of them were medical, so he's not allowed to like get up and do stuff. He has to stay in his bed the whole day. And he's been gone since October. And he doesn't come back until after May.
Oh my gosh. Without
So,
contact, without conversations, without nothing,
and so
I wouldn't
I
survive.
I have to practice my respect because I get so frustrated. I'm like, "Why can't you talk to me?" Well, my respect is by the time he has time to talk to me, he's starving. He's exhausted. He feels disgusting. He's covered in filth. He wants to go
Wow.
shower, go eat a good dinner, and go get in bed. And I respect that. However, on the flip side, he goes through all that and he gets a moment, a random time of his day, and he's calling me. He's calling me 55 times. He needs to respect that I'm in position at the bottom of the Tanzanian twister, and I can't run off and float to the guard room and get my phone and answer his phone call. And he
Oh.
gets frustrated because he's like, I need you to prioritize me. And I'm like, I need you to prioritize me. But we have to have the respect that
Mm-hmm.
priorities are not in our space
Mm-hmm.
for our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
And that's just one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, with those examples, my next quality would be respect.
Respect. Respect. It's a key word. Even for a society among just men,
Mm-hmm.
we need to respect each other. As I told you before, the room, we need rules. We need
Mm-hmm.
to be respectful of each other. In that way, we can have a long lasting friendship. Otherwise, it will be like mess. Just a mess, a disaster. Cool. Good characteristic. Is there any other characteristic?
I'm trying to think of like a physical characteristic that men should have.
Oh, those are the most intriguing
Mm-hmm. I
characteristics.
know. People are so obsessed with their bodies and their looks. American women like clean men. We like
Okay.
well shaved, nice haircut, like clean clothes, put together. Like, we like clean men.
Grooming man?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same? Neat, clean?
Yes, neat,
Grooming.
clean. I don't know. A lot of girls I know like tall guys, but I don't think it really makes a difference.
Yeah, like big kids.
Yes, like, but all the girls that I know that like tall guys are like 5 feet tall. So I don't understand. A lot of girls I
It's
know,
complicated.
I don't know. A lot of girls I know like cowboys.
Cowboys?
Yeah,
Save a
like
horse, ride a
ride a cowboy.
cowboy.
Yeah, like rednecks, hicks.
Felicia used to listen to that, and he was also singing while we were going for a Buffalo Wings or whatever.
Mhm.
That's kind of crazy.
I don't get that one. Or like they like the thug type.
I thought, what?
Thug. Sorry, it's like slang. It's THUG. It's like thug. Like he's hip. He's rock and roll. He's cool. Like he's like what up? Like wears his
Mm.
pants low. Wears his brim down. Like he's thug. He's got cash. He's gold chains.
Got it, got it, got it,
Not my type. Um,
got it.
but I mean like every woman in America has her type and her likes, and
Mhm.
if you're not if you're not slinging the ladies in Los Angeles, California, try Sandusky, Ohio. Like there's different women all over, you
There must
know.
be. There must be.
So if I could give them advice, it's just be yourself, because there's something about everyone that is perfect for someone. Good energy is the most attractive thing. If you're positive and happy and energetic, that's the most attractive thing.
It's a long way to be. Like being mature, as you mentioned, it's a long-lasting process,
It is.
and sometimes a loop, a loophole where you cannot get out of. Mm, immaturity, I mean.
Yes.
Immaturity is a loophole where sometimes you
It
cannot
is,
get out
yeah.
of.
People get stuck, and then when they try to get unstuck,
Hmm.
it's hard because they don't know how.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I think as long as you acknowledge potential for growth and maturity, again, that factor of failure, you are going to be just fine. And that's for all the men, the ladies, anyone who's trying to go after us American girls.
Yeah. Your characteristics varies. Also, I would consider that there are psychological factors that female prefer women for women. Female prefer men,
Mm-hmm.
or female prefer male for a reason. There's just as you said, but there's another key, and sometimes it's a nonsense idea, I guess. And this is like this. This is like this. Is when there is a man who is single,
Mm-hmm.
it's not as attractive as a man who has a woman.
There's something that I've heard girls talk about, and they call it the want factor. And it's like, this is TikTok psychology. It's not, I don't know if this is real, have it has any basis. But if
Mhm,
you see someone and okay, so if you are watching commercials for food, are
mhm.
you going to want the food that nobody's eating, or are you going to want the food that everyone's eating, everyone's loving, everyone's chowing down, eating it up?
The second one.
So something about that is attractive to people. Honestly, I think that it could be a factor of maturity for women, because if you're going after this person and you want to be in a truthful, monogamous, healthy, long-term situation, then it shouldn't matter to you who else is chasing them. If anything, it should kind of deter you if everyone's chasing them.
But unfortunately, most of women are immature. Immature, even in the world. most people are immature, are not
Yes.
mature. So
General.
that percentage goes against against us, against even female or woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it goes against us, and it just is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. So in terms of in physical terms, so you would rather go for a cowboy? You didn't mention that before.
I like Latinos.
Latinos.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Actually, your husband
he is Guatemalan.
is
Yes.
Guatemala.
So,
Oh.
and I think he's just fantastic. I love him to death. He
Oh,
is
it's so cute.
he's shorter, but it never has bothered me, not a day in my life. Because I mean, I'm a 6 foot tall woman,
Uh-huh.
so I've noticed that typically tall guys like short girls.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, whatever. And
You don't
then
care.
no, because like nothing's wrong with me, like being a tall girl.
Some people just stereotype it.
Like, yeah, but I mean, like, I can reach the top shelf. They can't. Like,
They can help you.
I can ride the roller coasters. They can't. Like, just saying. Like, so once I started kind of getting over that
uh,
insecurity, all of a sudden this short guy is talking to me and bothering me, and I'm like, yeah, he's cute. And now I am married. So I think if we kind of stray away from the stereotypes about people's bodies,
mhm.
we will be all good. Because online relationships work so well for a reason. Because we don't have the physical factor to decide the chemistry. It's all about personality.
I wouldn't say it's all about
No?
personality. Not 100%. Like there are in this chair, there are three fundamentals. The first one could be emotion. The second could be the physical
Mhm.
appearance, and the third one could be the soul.
Mm. Yeah.
So if one of them is fucked up, then there is another that can support you. You know,
Yeah.
in a relationship, there must be different
Yes. A
connections.
lot of people, I think, fail in their relationships because they don't have the emotional maturity to provide for a relationship.
Hmm.
So then they make up for it in the sexual aspect. And that's why we get relationships like I'm sure you know people at the water park who go through this
Hmm.
and they have this fantastic sex life. Good for them. And yet that's such a private thing in their life that they're not capable of bonding emotionally over it.
Hmm.
So when people do things like how I mentioned, me and my husband have different religious views, so our
Hmm.
souls kind of have different views,
Hmm.
but he still is someone who can enjoy the wind on a sunny day and say, "Wow, this calls to me." You know how
Yeah.
people have their things, like, and that fulfills me in my soul because just knowing that he can feel that is like that's cool. Like I love seeing him be passionate about God and I love hearing him sing all the hymns and pray with his family and get dressed up for Sunday church and that
Uh-huh.
fulfills me because I'm taking an interest in what he likes, which fulfills him and then I know that he's going to return that for me because after church we get to go get ice cream.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's what's in my soul.
In some sense, in some way, loving a person, loving a new human being, is reject yourself.
Mhm.
And you just said, I gotta be patient, tolerant with him when he goes to the church. I accompany him. I'm with him. I'm praying with him.
Mhm.
I respecting him, and that is not only cute, but it goes beyond human expectation, human sensitivity. It goes super beyond. Like it belongs to the stairs.
Mhm.
So are things that we cannot describe with words. The human is not able to describe with words. Love. Sometimes we have different meaning for
Mhm.
love. And Saint Thomas of Aquino was a man who rejected believing God. And then somebody asked him, "Do you believe in love?" Yes. Why? What happened? You didn't used to. Because I understood that if I cut my mom in 1,000 pieces, I won't find love, but I love her.
That's beautiful.
Saint Thomas of Aquino is a religion person.
Mhm.
Well, actually, when he started to believe in God, he turned religious. Actually,
Mhm.
definitely,
He
obviously.
converted.
Yeah, well, that was his phrase, and I was impacted. I reacted in a positive angle. Mm.
If I cut someone into 1,000 pieces, I won't find love.
Don't never tried it. Don't ever tried it. But yeah, well, basically, love is something that we can feel, but we cannot define.
Mhm.
Mm, okay, so you said be resilient,
Mhm.
be respectful.
Mhm.
What about being a good listener?
Being a good listener is very important, but I think that that role in a relationship can be one way or another, because to be a good listener, you have to have a good talker. Like in relationships, we can't be both good listeners and good
Uh huh.
talkers.
This is much more percent than other.
One is more than the other. So you
Exactly.
either got to be the listener or the talker.
Uh
And
huh.
just because you're the listener doesn't mean you're not saying or communicating anything, and just because you're the talker doesn't mean you're not receiving and absorbing anything. This goes in talk with the love languages and how we express and how we receive, and it's all giving and taking, giving and taking, giving and taking without end.
Without end. Mm-hmm.
But I think being receptive when you are the listener, like
Mm-hmm.
if your partner is a talker person and you are the listener person, I think qualities for good listening in a personal relationship is knowing that even if they're saying this, they really mean that. And that's just one of those things that you really have to know your partner well. And knowing your partner well means you have to not just listen and talk or give and take, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to collect.
Correct. Like make it perpetual.
Yes. Like
Mm.
my husband, back when we were dating, said one random summer he really likes strawberries. And I was like, perfect. I made him at least 100 chocolate covered strawberries, bought him
Oh my
strawberry
gosh.
milkshake. I bought him all this strawberry flavored candy. I put it all in a big box with fresh strawberries, sprayed it with my strawberry perfume. It was all
Wow.
pink with strawberry patterns, and I gave it to, and I'm a gift giver. I love to give, and especially food. Love to feed
Uh-huh.
people. He takes it, and we couldn't finish all the strawberries together. He takes it home, and he tells his sister, he goes, "I'm kind of sick of strawberries." And then I come over the next week, and I'm like, "Do you have any strawberries left?" And his mom goes to the freezer and brings out this big bag of chocolate covered strawberries.
No
Yes, yes.
way.
And that kind of taught me, that made me laugh. And that kind of taught me that, yes, I retained that he liked strawberries
Forever.
forever.
What's such a chaotic way to know I like of a person?
Right? And I thought, well, maybe he won't want strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries again. I thought maybe like, oh, like I really overdid it. And then recently he was like, I miss your chocolate covered strawberries. And that
Hmm.
to see, and that to me was like, aw,
He did really
let me text
appreciate
your mom
it.
and see if she has any in the freezer. Send them to you.
Oh, that's so cute. So when you reminisce, is again living again. Like when you made a flashback, when you go back mentally talking to that event in the
Mm-hmm.
past where you were a child with a toy, we were happy. It's like living again.
Yes.
It's like living
Yes.
again.
That was good to relive.
It's so, and it's pain relieving when you're in a difficult circumstance, and you reminisce those beautiful moments
Mm-hmm.
with your family, with your husband, with anybody. Mm, it's amazing. It's amazing. What about introversion and extroversion?
Oh, see, I like the quiet type.
Okay.
And that shocks people. Like when I tell them John is they're all like, "Oh, like couples date, like we'll hang out. My guy friend will love John." And I'm like, "John won't talk to you. John won't talk to him. John is shy."
John is your husband, right?
Yes.
John.
He's so shy. He's really quiet. And at first everyone was like, "Him, but he's quiet. Like he's not outgoing. He's not going to, enjoy your energy and grow with your energy." And when I tell you, when this man is by himself, I will be in the shower and he'll be in the living room or something, and he won't shut up. He's singing at the top of his lungs, dancing around,
Wow.
smacking stuff, dancing with the dog, doing whatever.
So he's not a pure introvert.
He's not. And I don't think anyone really understands introvert versus extrovert. I think it's all situational. Like someone we know and love, and I will tell you who it is
Mhm.
after the podcast because I don't want to throw anybody's names
Yeah,
in.
good, yeah, good.
So shy. I thought this person hated me. I know, because I'm loud and I understand my output is a lot for some people to receive. And that's okay.
Mhm.
And I tell you, when this person gets a good amount of drinks in them, total 360. They're laughing, they're dancing, they're jumping around, like doing things you never would imagine. Somebody that I didn't know who
Mhm.
spoke conversational English after a couple drinks, I was having conversations like this with.
No way.
Yes. Someone who had been around multiple
Wow.
times. And I'll admit, I kind of ignored them because I didn't want to target them. I didn't want them to be the focus of something they didn't like.
Mhm.
And I thought that was attention.
Mhm.
The day after that, I'm talking to them and they do the biggest smile I've ever seen right at me.
Oh.
And I thought all it took was one moment of being extroverted and this whole personality changed. This whole person changed.
Definitely, we are involved by being introvert. Being being introvert,
Being introverted.
like you said, a certain percentage of introversion and certain percentage of extroversion.
Hmm.
People has both of them. What would have happened? What would have happened if they are just a pure extrovert or a pure introvert? They would never stop talking.
Hmm. So I think for my personal preference,
Mhm.
I think being reserved, being quiet, being shy is okay. But it's not about being extroverted. It's just knowing when to let loose and have fun with your friends and do something that relaxes you and is entertaining to you. That could be going to the movie. You're not talking, you're not
Mhm.
looking at anybody, you're not engaging with like a person.
Mhm.
But if that's how you do your social time, your extrovert time with your friends, with
Mhm.
somebody else or with the public,
Good for you.
good for you.